Hello to lesson 38 of the Workbook in a Course in Miracles. So good to have you here back. I hope you're doing well in working yourself through the workbook, and that you're still strong, that you get a lot of inspiration, that you get a lot out of it. If we take a minute to actually talk about it, or for me to share of how I feel, I find it quite demanding, especially really doing as well one lesson per day. Every now and then I find it too much. I would hope to have 2 or 3 days per lesson, and I think obviously I could take it and still go through the workbook a little bit slower, which is absolutely fine if that's what you're doing. But then I think about it as well, it's like, would I actually then still do the exercises as intense as I do them now, where I just do one each day? And there might be the crux that I would maybe actually not do that. So I think for now it works well. And if I have the feeling that I could spend a little bit more time on something, then that's it. I will either find the time to actually do it or just live with it and let it go. That's just my 2 cents and how I feel about going through the workbook in quite some speed and really doing about a lesson per day. It's something like that so far, but we're still at the beginning, aren't we? So back to lesson 38. The headline of the lesson is, "There is nothing my holiness cannot do." And there is lots of teaching in this lesson that I want to talk about first before I share with you about my thoughts or my experiences about the exercise. So let's talk about the teachings first. In paragraph 1 it says, "It is beyond every restriction of time, space, distance and limits of any kind." Which I just love. When I read this, I felt taken back to teachings from Dr. Joe Dispenza about the quantum field. So really going as well into quantum physics and quantum mechanics. And that's what it is. We're talking here about the quantum field. If we talk about that there are no restrictions of time, space, distance and limits. It was just kind of like a memory of going, oh look, all these scriptures and texts and teachings are all saying the same thing in the end, just with some different words, and sometimes they even use the same words, which I just love. And then in paragraph 2 it says, "Your holiness then can remove all pain, can end all sorrow, and can solve all problems," which I just found so inspirational. I wanted to call it out as a sentence that really touched me and made me at the same time as well really hopeful for the future and for the power of my holiness that I still have to experience. But I'm really looking forward to being able to remove pain and sorrow and solve problems, not just for myself but as well for others, which it says here in the text as well. I just love that sentence. And then the last one, which did something for me, was in paragraph 5, the last sentence. "The purpose of today's exercises is to begin to instill in you a sense that you have dominion over all things because of what you are." And first of all, I had to actually look out the word domination. I thought I knew what it is, and it's like, is that really what they mean with it? So I translated it into German, as I'm German, and I was like, okay, that's what the text actually says. Okay, that's what they mean. And I think they wanted to make a point with that word to call it out of how serious this is. What I really think about this, or what my reflection on this is, I'm not 100% sure yet. As you can see, of course, it triggered something inside of me, otherwise I wouldn't be talking to you about it. But this word dominion and having dominion over all things because of what you are, it does something inside of me. Maybe it does it for you as well, or maybe you just went, oh, where's the problem in that? It's just logic, it's just fine. Let me know in the comments how you experience that word, if it has maybe a similar reaction inside of you as it has for me. But now let's talk about the exercise. So yesterday morning, I did a very long period in the morning on the exercise. And then when I was driving to work or first to the gym, I had 45 minutes of actually keep reflecting on it, keep practicing, but seeing as well of what came up. And what did come up was a realization that is not fully formed yet, so don't quote me on it, but I'm going to share it with you anyway. So the situations that we were asked to select for the exercise, I want them, of course, to look different, right? That's why I selected them as situations for the exercise, because I want them to be different. I see them as a problem, as something I don't like, or something I want to have different. So that is the first point. Then these other states, so what I want them to look different as, are my goals, desires and wishes. So the current situation is not to my liking. I see it as a problem. I see it as not desirable. So of course, what I want it to look like are then my goals, my desires and my wishes. Does that make sense to you? So I have, of course, in my head how I want things to look like instead of the current situation. And these are then, of course, goals that I have, desires that I have, or wishes that I have. But then I thought about it, if I try to fulfill those goals, wishes and desires, so change the current situation to that situation, that doesn't mean that I then feel whole or holy when I reach them. That is not the logic, and my past will have shown that to me. I have reached goals, desires and wishes in the past, not all of them, but some of them, and have I then felt whole or holy? No, I haven't. So I know now as well it won't in the future. So then I took that thought further and came up with that I need to feel whole and holy now without the situations having changed. It's not about changing the situation to something else that I think I desire, that I want it to look like, but rather let go of it completely and be okay where I am now. So for me to be able to do that, I need to remove the thoughts that this current situation is a problem. I need to disentangle and let go of the thoughts that that current situation is a problem for me, and think about it more neutral, as in it is just what it is, or it's my life, it's fine. I don't know yet what to think about it instead. And like I said, this is not fully formed yet. I'm just sharing with you my thought pattern that came to me on my drive to work. So removing the thoughts out of my mind that these situations that are used in the exercise are actually problems. And then, because I then let go of these thoughts, however I do that, I take as well the focus and the energy of the problem, of the situation. And then it can actually transform or not. But it shouldn't really matter to me, because if I remove my energy, my focus and my thoughts from that situation of being a problem, then I don't have a problem with it anymore, and then I don't mind if it changes or not. Do you follow me? If a situation is not a problem anymore for me and it's just what it is, like a lot of other things in my life are not a problem, they are just what they are. So if I look at them and something changes about it, or it doesn't change, it doesn't bother me. If it changes, oh, okay, it changes, fine, whatever. If it doesn't change, yeah, okay, fine, whatever. It doesn't bother me. So that's where we have to get to with the situations in our lives that we see as problems. Because then we don't have problems anymore, and we can start to feel whole or holy because we're complete. We don't need anything to change in our lives to feel whole, because we already feel whole, and therefore we don't care. But even taking already the energy back and the focus away from these things might even give them the possibility to transform actually into something that we rather want. But because we keep it alive with our thoughts of this is a problem, I don't like this, we keep it alive with our focus and our energy and these thoughts that we have about it. And if we take it off of them, if we remove it, then it actually can develop into what it's supposed to develop, whatever the purpose is. And we don't care if it changes or if it doesn't change. I hope that makes sense. I wanted to share this with you. Like I said, this is not fully formed out. I need to spend some more time on this, or maybe I won't. Like I said at the beginning, I think like I need to spend time on this and really work on the problem itself and analyze the thoughts that I have about it, and then do exercise or practices, whatever, to remove those thoughts. And maybe I don't. Maybe actually the realization is the only step that I need to do for today, and the job is done. I will let you know probably in the future when we talk about this topic again. But like I said, going through a lesson each day doesn't leave you with a lot of time to focus on last day's exercise, because you have already moved on. And maybe that's actually a good thing. So we don't overthink it and we don't try to analyze it, because that is for sure not the point of A Course in Miracles, am I right? So let me know what your experience has been with the lesson, and how did you like it? What did you think about all of the teachings that we got from the book? And I will see you tomorrow again for the next lesson. Until then, bye bye.